We're here at the Victoria Cycling Festival, and I'm joined by Tony Zarsadias. Tony is the CEO, head honcho of the Condo Group. The Condo Group is a real estate agency in town, and they're one of the title sponsors of the cycling festival this weekend. Tony was fast and furious on the microphone this afternoon, commentating the criterium. An ex-pro racer himself, so he's one of the best guys to get perspective on the race. And so why don't you just give us a little, the 30-second lowdown on how it panned out today for the men and the women.
Well, it was really all about the teams for the men's race. It came down to, there's 3 big teams, and they definitely dominated the race, basically by putting guys up in the breakaway and having guys who were back in the pack defending the lead. So, and that's the way it turned out. The team that played it the best was H&R Block, and they won it. They had Rob Britton up in the breakaway with Justin Kerr, a guy from New Zealand. And
Yeah.
Justin Kerr took the win, and Rob did most of the work. Yeah. So, yeah, it was really impressive. The women's race was also dominated by teams. There was one big team, really, and that was Trek Red Truck. And they've always been a force in cycling for a number of years. That's actually one of the original teams that I raced for. And they had, I think, 4 or 5 women, and it totally dominated the race. I think they got the top 2 spots on the podium.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome racing, though.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And, just talk a little bit about the cycling festival in general, because this was the 20th year, I believe, of at least this criterium race. And it's certainly morphed. They have a time trial on the Friday nights. They had the BC Road Championships yesterday. And then culminating with this event, which is, I think, from a spectator standpoint and an athlete standpoint, it's one of the best races. It's such an exciting one. It's quick, it's fast, it's a 900-meter loop, and so much happens, and it just looks like such a gut fest. So tell us a little bit about what it's like racing a criterium. I mean, you did it for years and years, and, just from a spectator's perspective, it looks like one of the toughest things to do.
It is. It's a really hard course. I mean, basically because you're almost always in sight, and it just keeps the pace really high. Unlike a road race where you've got, one long road and you can sort of get out of sight quite easily. So the pace is always high.
Yeah.
And this race, it's been around for 20 years. I mean, it's been won by basically the who's who of Canadian cycling. I mean, from the women's side, we've had Alison Sidor, multi-time world champion, Melanie McQuaid, one of the top Xterra triathletes, Aaron Willock, of course, Olympian. And on the men's side, Roland Green, world champion, Brian Walton, Olympic medalist. I mean, these are like some serious athletes who've won this race. So we're really lucky to have that quality of an athlete, or those athletes competing here in Victoria.
Yeah. One of the other great things about this event is they have such an amazing kids event. There must have been 100 kids out today. They do the 900-meter loop, and you've got everything from kids on runner bikes to, a little bit older on their pedal bikes, and they're just giving her. And Tim Hortons is a big supporter of that, and they deserve props. The kids all get backpacks and medals and all these things. So talk about the importance of getting, kids exposed to biking and all that stuff, at an early age.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think things have changed a lot. I mean, when you and I grew up, roads weren't as busy, and it was easy to get out on a bike as a kid. And to have an event like this where the roads are closed and kids can actually rip around on their bikes. I mean, even though it's just one lap, it's still probably 5 minutes for kids to just get that experience of being on closed roads and see what bike racing's all about. It's awesome. So and Tim Hortons has been a supporter of cycling forever. I mean, they sponsored the national team for a number of years, the road cycling team, and actually mountain bike team. And it's cool to see them involved with the kids. It's all about the kids, really. I mean, those are our future stars. Yeah. Got to have events like that.
Very cool. I want to close off on the same note. From a different perspective, you're a professional athlete, so that's one perspective, but now you're a business owner, and you're heavily involved with cycling in this community. I mean, you got the Condo Group cycling kits, and you have, lots of people kitted out, but you also are, you're throwing some money at this event, and you're putting your support behind it. How important from a business owner's perspective is it to get involved with, first of all, sport and cycling?
Well, for us, obviously there's some benefit from exposure. We're the title sponsor, and there's media exposure, but it's not why we do it. I do it because when I was an athlete, a lot of people helped me out. A lot of people, I mean, business owners gave me money to go and chase my dreams, and I feel it's my duty to do the same thing now that I'm in a position to do that for other people. So, really stoked to be able to be in a position where I can help, and I mean, it's awesome to have a little bit of a benefit for our company. So, yeah, we've got people jumping in front of us, which is awesome.